Hey seniors, today we're going to be talking about filling out empty tables and graphs. Yesterday we talked about filling out tables when we're given values. Today we're not going to be given values. So go ahead at the top of your notes page, go ahead and write filling out empty tables and graphs. When filling out empty tables, always start with small numbers such as 0, 1, 2, or 3, etc. to start out. And again, what we want to do is plug in those values for x to determine y values. So you guys are going to be given blank tables that look like this, and they're going to ask you to fill in the tables given an equation. Let's just say y equals 3x plus 7. That's just an example. And you're just going to have to fill in the table. Let's go ahead and jump into example. All right, use the equation y equals 2x minus 5 and fill out the blank table below and graph it. All right, again, since this table is blank, we want to go ahead and start with some x values. So we always want to start small. Let's start with 0. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, all we're going to do is take our x values, plug them into our equation to determine our y values. So let's do 0 first. If I have y equals 2 times 0 minus 5. Well, 2 times 0 is going to leave me with 0. So y is going to equal negative 5. So I just plug in negative 5 into our equation, or into our table, rather. Now, let's plug in 1 into our equation. So I have y equals 2 times 1 minus 5. Well, 2 times 1 is going to leave me with 2 minus 5. So y in this case equals negative 3. And again, I just plug that into my table to fill out the rest of our table. Now we're going to continue to do this. My next value is 2. So I'm going to plug in 2 for x. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 minus 5, so y equals negative 1. Now, from this point, you should start to see a pattern. So I'm not going to fill out the rest of the table. You can do that on your own, but you can see our y values are increasing by 2 every time. So if I were to plug in 3, I would get a positive 1. If I were to plug in 4, I would get a positive 3. So again, always start small with your x values and work your way up. All right, guys. Again, we want to go ahead and practice graphing again because data can be represented in many different ways. Graphing is just one of them. If our equation was y equals 2x minus 5, I know that 2 is going to be my slope, and negative 5 is going to be my y-intercept, or my b. And again, I'm just getting these from our equation. Y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope, b is my y-intercept. So I'm always going to start at negative 5, which is my y-intercept. If I have a slope of 2, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Up 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. And again, you'll see that this is making a complete straight line. If I wanted to go backwards, I would go down 2, over 1. Down 2, over 1. Again, super review skill, but just want to make sure that we're strong with it. Okay, guys, one last review skill that I want us to go over, which is finding equations of the line. So again, our equation is in the form y equals mx plus b. And again, I always want to start with my y-intercept. So this line, my y-intercept is at 4. And again, my y-intercept is the spot on the graph where the line crosses the y-intercept. So if I know that my y-intercept is 4, I have half of my equation. My next step is to find the next clear point and go ahead and find the slope between those 2 points. So I'm going to start at 4. I'm going to move my pen up, and I see that there's a clear point at 3 and 8. So now I'm just going to find the rise and the run between those 2 points. So I'm going to go up to 8 from 4, which means I rise 4 places. And I'm going to go over, and I see that I run 4 places. So 4 divided by 4 is going to be with 1, so my slope here is 1. So the equation of this line, I can just plug my values in, is 1x plus 4. I could also write it as just y equals x plus 4. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Let's go ahead and jump into practice.